Good morning, Cluster. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our morning get-together live here on Facebook, where we combine headlines from our city, our state, and our country, along with comments and suggestions you may have about how to have a great life here in Puerto Vallarta as a community of English-speaking locals. And we do try, and it is fun trying to find new ways to stay connected with the city and stay excited with things to do and people to meet and all that good stuff. Today is Thursday, November 4th, and as always, we have a plethora of interesting news to share before we go into the news. As you know, we love to say welcome to folks that join us for the first time. So if this is your first time watching, please let us know by writing the word new in your comment, and we'll just give you a nice little welcome, nothing major. Also, if you have something important to discuss or something that you wish to bring up so that Luna, my faithful assistant, and I can address it, it helps a great deal if you add the letter Q at the beginning of your comment, and that way we make sure to try to get to it during the broadcast. Today, we are talking about vaccines, we're talking about cemeteries, we're talking about tropical storms still at this stage of the game. We're talking about letters, and at the end of the broadcast today, we will have a selfish, shamelessly Canadian moment. So there. If you're curious about that, just have to stick around. So we'll go through our news, we'll go through our weather, we'll go through our other news, our chit chat, and then we'll get all Canadian, and we'll see what happens after that. Let's get started. We have excellent news from the vaccination home front. As you know, yesterday was the first day of the second COVID-19 vaccination campaign for leftovers here in Puerto Vallarta, and 3,500 people went and got their prick, leaving a remaining 6,400 or so doses available for today and tomorrow. According to this report, the day flowed smoothly without long delays, and this is absolutely a good thing. Also, as we mentioned yesterday, the flu shot season has begun as well, with the vaccines initially made available at different public health centers located through the city and made available specifically at the beginning for health personnel, pregnant women, people with pre-existing conditions, seniors, that would be people 65 years of age or older in Mexico, and children from 6 to 59 months of age. Now, we had questions yesterday about where does one go and get the vaccine, the flu shot. We're talking about flu shots now. And here is something you may want to keep in mind if you're wondering where to go. I'm going to show you a Google map. And what I'm going to search for here is Centro de Salud, or Health Center. And you will find that Google Map returns clinics that are located throughout the city in different places. Now, I am not suggesting that all these clinics that show up here are public clinics, but at least you have a sense as to where they are. There are phone numbers available there if you want to call ahead and find out exactly where you can get your flu shot if this is part of your routine. And speaking about part of the routine, I forgot to mention this when the time changed this past weekend. Something that a lot of us locals, Mexican nationals, do during when the clock changes twice a year. That is also a good cue to go and get dewormed. And dewormed is something that we tend to do in Mexico. I don't know about other countries. There was some controversy about COVID and deworming not even a couple of months ago. But here it's quite common to go get pills, to get dewormed, and make sure that your gut is healthy with the right kind of stuff going on in there. So please keep this in mind if you want to get into that habit. It is a nice way to remember to do a little bit of maintenance to the gut. Let's see what else we have. Yes. So even while things are looking much better in the home front, the COVID-19 home front, health authorities are not discarding the possibility of a fourth wave coming this winter. According to my former future ex husband and health undersecretary, Hugo Lopez Gatel, and I'm going to quote him, as long as the COVID 19 pandemic is active anywhere in the world, excuse me, any country can have a new wave at any moment, and we need to come to terms with the fact that there can be a fourth, fifth, sixth, or seventh wave, and so forth and so on. So just be mindful of that. Don't let it run your life, but also don't forget that there is still a pandemic going on. And, we don't need to go about what to do or what not to do because we go over it constantly. Now, let's talk about our nice friends from the Reglamentos office. This would be the folks that go around from business to business saying, you're doing things the right way, congrats, or you're not doing things the right way. Here's a little paper that I'm going to leave with you. If you do it again, there will be consequences. That's Reglamentos. As we know, we are getting started with the new municipal administration. Well, I'm sure they do many other things, but that's the way we perceive them. We're getting started with the new municipal administration, and according to this report, between the whole snafu of our new mayor having appointed municipal offices being run by office managers and not the actual officials, and also the fact that the new administration is just getting their act together, there have been no folios or warnings issued by the Reglamentos Department, at least not during the first month. If you got one and we didn't know about it, please let us know. But according to statements made by members of the new Reglamentos Department, this was another dependency that was left behind in disarray by the previous administration. How does this affect us, you may be wondering? Well, if you are a business owner and have noticed that the Reglamentos people have not been knocking on your door lately, this is going to change in the near future. And if you are a local and you happen to notice an anomaly at a local business and reported it and you didn't see anything happening, well, hopefully things will begin to be acted upon in the foreseeable reason. Now, let us take a quick look at the weather just to see what we can expect for the rest of the week. It would help if I turned the weather on, wouldn't it? There you go. The weather has one thing to say, gonk. So I don't know exactly what gonk is related to. If anybody knows, please let us know. 28 degrees. It's warmer, but it's not as humid. This is good. 28 degrees Celsius right now, 70% humidity. Feels like 31. Our temperature in Fahrenheit degrees is 83. And our feather workcast. Our feather workcast. I love it. Our feather workcast. Thank you. Thank you, Luna. Thank you. Our weather. So getting cooler, not so much or not as much as I would like to, but it is definitely getting cooler. But could there be more tropical storms coming? Well, it's not over till the tropical storms are over. And as much as we'd like to think that the rain and tropical storm season is over, well, there seems to be at least one or maybe two that wish to make a statement before the season is completely gone. Let us take a look at the contestants. Well, we have this one down here. It is presently known as Tropical Depression 18-E. Doesn't even have a name just yet. And did something happen? You don't see me anymore? I don't understand why you don't see me anymore. Because I can see me. I can see me. Are you guys? You guys can see me, right? I'm here. Yes? Somebody says something happened? I don't see anything that happened. Oh, somebody sees me. Okay, never mind. I'm back. Did I go away? How bizarre. How bizarre! Because I just went to the headlines and not to the headlines, to the weather, and I hope you can see me now. Maybe it was a temporary glitch. Anyhow, there are these tropical storms that don't even have names yet. There's one down here, and then there's another one over here, and let us just hope that these tropical storms will not become a problem for us. Let us hope that they will just dissipate um, as they should. Large map on screen. It was during the weather. Large map on screen. Well, I thought I was in and out. Anyhow, I'm here. I'm here, and we're done with the map. We're not going to do the map anymore. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about Day of the Dead, probably for the last time. You see, it is estimated that approximately 24,000 people visited municipal cemeteries this past Day of the Dead. Fortunately, and thanks to the preparedness of local authorities, time spent at the cemeteries was, by those visiting their loved ones, flowed with order and tranquility, or as Queen Elizabeth might say, the staff performed magnificently. And trust me, I'll explain that Queen Elizabeth reference in a couple of minutes. So there were no problems on the cemeteries, but I should let you know that there will be problems in the cemeteries coming up soon. You see, according to Jose Asuncion Gil, Director of Municipal Public Services, the city cemeteries will run out of space in a matter of months. Apparently, during the previous administration, there was a plan to build another cemetery in El Colorado, but this project is now deemed unexecutable. What that means is there's no place to bury people. And that makes me wonder, who thinks about burying people anymore? I'm not meaning to offend anyone, but I just don't know how important graveyards are to people. I wonder if they're important to you. I'd be curious to learn if you're thinking of graveyards for yourselves. I myself think that I would rather be cremated and not take that much valuable earth space, but that's just me. I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen with my body when I go places, but I am surely not thinking of a cemetery, at least not for myself. Before we get into Chit Chat section, I want to tell you about something that has nothing to do with Puerto Vallarta, but I derived so much pleasure last night out of discovering this wonderful YouTube channel called Letters Live. I'm going to read from their own description. Letters Live is a series of live events celebrating the power of literary correspondence. Inspired by Sean Usher's Letters of Note, Letters Live is an initiative by publishing company Canongate and Benedict Cumberbatch's production company Sunny March. It has become a phenomenon wherever has played in the UK. The idea of the project is simple. We ask inspired, talented, high-profile artists from various disciplines to read letters out loud to our audiences. Letters Live celebrates letter writing and the art of correspondence first and foremost. You'd think it would be boring to see people stand on a stage and read other people's letters. Well, wait till you see Olivia Colman read a letter from Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, out loud. Considering the fact that she played Queen Elizabeth II on television, this is a letter written by Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, to her darling mother-in-law, Queen Mary, recounting the events of 13 September 1940 when German bombs hit Buckingham Palace when the King George IV was in residence. And let me tell you, the way she reads these letters is completely funny. And there are many people reading, and there are many letters. Some of them are personal. Others are letters of complaints sent to businesses. And the whole exercise was just delightful. I found myself watching all these letters last night and made me wonder how you go about these days to connect with people you haven't seen in a while. Are you still writing letters? Are you still mailing letters? Are you using email, phone calls, or just sending chat messages? I personally find it really difficult to have long telephone conversations anymore. I feel like I should be doing something else, but I do want to keep in touch with people. So I'm just wondering where you are. But at the very least, if you want a good laugh, I do recommend reading some of these letters. The one Olivia Colman reads from Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, to her mother-in-law was absolutely priceless. So we're getting into the chit chat. And as long as we have a cue in front of our nose, Linda says, anybody else grossed out by the ongoing gross sewer smell around Starbucks on Basilio Vadillo? Well, I have not whiffed that because I haven't been over there in a while, but ew, that sounds like there's some caca business going on. Let me rewind. Let me take a quick look at all your hellos from this morning. It is always great to see you. There you are, my new friend, Angelica Vargas Ojara, who I had a chance to meet in person yesterday. It was a pleasure to meet you in person and find out that you are my 2 block away from my house neighbor. Who knew? So it was great. I hope we get together sometime again soon. Let's see. Oh, Christy's getting excited. Christy's counting down 1 more week till you're back in Puerto Vallarta. That is wonderful. Another movie, Pat Humphrey. I finally made my move to the Puerto Vallarta area. Looking forward to meeting some of you fine folks at some juncture. We all end up running across one another at one point or another, Pat, so I am sure you will start making connections. I hear more and more of, and I don't mean to draw attention to myself, but it is really unusual and humbling to hear increasing numbers of people that Coffee and Headlines ends up being part of the conversation, and then people realize they have been watching and people are making connections on your own. So I think it's great. Yesterday I heard a story of someone being on a plane and 2 seats down, they overheard somebody talking about, well, Paco at Coffee and Headlines, this, that, and the other. And what a nice way to begin friendships, I think, or I hope. Anyhow, Angelica says, can you tell the audience that El Buen Fin started and they have very good deals? Has it started, Angelica? I thought it was coming up in a couple of weeks or at least a few days. We talked about El Buen Fin just a day or 2 ago. Let me see if I can quickly find the website so that we can figure out. Let's see. El Buen Fin 2021. Come on, sometime before Christmas. Yoo-hoo! Well, it's taking a little bit to load. There you go. From the 10th to the 16th of November. So it hasn't quite started, but it is coming. We've mentioned this before, Angelica, and we know that we will find some great deals and others in which we want to pay attention to the fine dotted line. Question, a cruise ship has been in the bay for 2 days now. Any info on that? Yes, we happen to know. This is one of the gay cruises, Atlantis, I believe. It is an LGBT or mostly gay men cruise, as I understand it, that is here in the city. They arrived yesterday. I believe they spent the night, obviously, and they are going away today. And that's what I know about the second because I think we had 2 arrivals yesterday. One of them was the one that spent the night. Let's see what else we have. Can you tell us what pills to take to clean our gut? I had a parasite last year. Not pretty. I just go to, I think, I forget what the name of them is, Vormex or Vermex or something like that. If you go into any drugstore in town and just say, pastillas para desparasitarme, or warm pills, and they will just give you whatever it is that they give you, and they're generic and they're what we all take. There is a difference because I think, if I recall correctly, you see, I don't deworm that frequently, but I should. But there are those that you have to take for several days in a row, and then there's one massive pill that you take once and boom, you're gone. So those are the general options. Please keep those in mind if cleaning the gut is important to you. Let's see. Yeah. I may have pushed a button by mistake if all of a sudden people didn't were not able to see me. Sometimes my hands just get crazy, and that's how I end up spilling coffee on myself. Not a pretty thing. Let's see what else we have. Uh, Storm is named Sandra. Really? Have they given it a storm? It didn't have a storm just a second ago. But if she's going to be called Sandra, that sounds sexy. I love it. Let's see. Oh, I was off for 30 seconds. That is not nice. I'm sorry about that. Uh, how bizarre. I didn't mean to disappear. Let's see. Let's see. How is Solovino? Claude is trying to get me to adopt a cute little kitty cat, and I must say I've been thinking about the little kitty cat, but I'm not ready to adopt. But I want to know that he's okay. Did you guys take him to the vet? Please let me know because Solovino may or may not end up being my new son, but it is important to know that he is in good health. Let's see, Julie. I totally agree with you. It's kind of late the year to still be having storms, but they're spinning out in the ocean. Let us hope that they continue to spin out in the middle of nowhere. Um, then I see comments about ashes and graveyards, and it's interesting to see that a lot of people are thinking cremation. Uh, Good for you. We talked about the ongoing gross sewer smell around Basilio Vadillo. Uh, a body is an empty vessel. Cremate. I'm channeling my Klingon. I love it, Greg. I love it. Let's see what else. She is an amazing actor, Olivia Colman. And last night I also saw a trailer for a new television series on HBO where she stars, and she is the unwilling well, it's a mystery about a woman that lives in a house, and all of a sudden bodies that were buried in the house appear, and she's just amazing. I saw the trailer and I can't wait for this to get started on HBO. Double Q, my goodness. Paco, have you heard if adorable Seth Sykes is planning any upcoming shows in PV? Just wondering if that might coincide with my December visit. Let me just give some context, Matthew, first, so that everybody knows. Seth Sykes is a Broadway singer, musicals singer that channels an amazing Judy Garland in his performances. We played one of his videos last year. He did a funny video about Puerto Vallarta on the beach, and we applauded his creativity. And to go to the question, Matthew, I haven't seen anything advertised about Seth Sykes, but Seth Sykes is someone, in case it matters to anyone, that I would definitely want to see live in Puerto Vallarta, even if the tickets are priced for tourists, as they usually are. And that is a commentary, not a criticism. And because he is absolutely spectacular. My only wish and hope is that if and when he performs here in town, is that he performs with live musicians and not with canned tracks. And that's just my selfish wish. I haven't written a letter or even sent a card with a long note for many years. Would enjoy watching the letter reading, though. I'm sure you will enjoy it a lot. When I found out that I could monetize the YouTube channel for Coffee and Headlines, one of the things that Google does to verify that you're a real person and that you live where you say you live is they mail you something. They mail you a letter. And this letter took like over 2 months to arrive, and it finally arrived. But yeah, I don't send written letters as much as I used to. I do like to write, as you probably can imagine. So I do like to be verbose in my messages from time to time. That's just me. With regards to burials, is it possible to donate your body for transplants or medical research in Mexico? Anna, I don't know that it is possible or impossible, but I would be surprised if one was not able to do that here in Mexico. I mean, I've never thought about that. but I am sure one should be able to do that. Let's see. Da-dee-da-dee-da-dun, dun, 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 dun. Doo-dee-doo-doo, dee-doo-dee-doo-dee-doo-doo. Vermox. Yeah, I knew that's what the name was. Thank you very much, Pat. Vermox is the magic pill that will clean your gut. I think you're not supposed to take alcohol when you take it. Vermox every 6 months, says Marie. Yes, that's a routine. We just happen to time it, or I happen to think about it during the change of the time change, because that happens every 6 months. So there you have it. Oh, this is interesting news. Thank you very much, Angelica. In Guadalajara, all the bodies that are not claimed, they are used to practice for the students of medicine in the university. Good to know. Um, oh, fantastic. The small cruise ship out in the middle of the day, in the middle of the bay, I imagine, is the Holland America Westerdam. Cruise Mapper is a great application to keep track. I didn't know that there was such an app, but thank you very much. Oh, by the way, I was recommended a library app a couple of days ago by someone here in the cluster, and I downloaded it. And unfortunately, it has a button that says go look for libraries in your area from which you can get things, and there is no such a library. And I have no idea where my Library of Congress card went, so I couldn't say that I'm a member or that I have such a card. So ni modo, I can continue to get books and audiobooks in a different way. Uh, Here's another name for the warm pill: albendazole, 200 milligrams once every 6 months. There you go. Greg Mitchell is looking for a non-denominational wedding commissioner for a beach wedding in January. Any ideas? How funny, because I got a request for a Christian wedding commissioner by a friend of mine who is a real estate agent locally. And when I started asking my friends, I found out, Greg, that our friend Julie Guerrero, who formerly owned the restaurant No Way Jose, is a non-denominational wedding commissioner. She may be a person that you can talk to, and hopefully you'll be able to make that connection. You can find her on, oh, not on Facebook. She doesn't do Facebook anymore. But feel free to drop me a line through the contact form, Greg, and if I can help you make a connection, I'll be happy to do that. And I'm wondering if there are other comments coming up in today's broadcast that may be helpful to you. Hopefully you'll find what you are looking for. Angelica asks, how about Luna? Would she accept the baby cat? I am worried about that. And Claude and Lucas keep nudging, saying that the kitty is doing well, just waiting to meet its new mommy and playing with its puppy again. Aww. Let's see what else we have. How about planting a tree using your ashes? That's what we did with my parents. We put them under a lemon tree, and when my mother died, we threw a bunch of rum into the tree. Well, not into the tree, but around the tree, because God knows she loved her rum and cokes. There's many ways to do. There's many options out there. And yes, there are companies that offer biodegradable bags that are attached to trees. There's all kinds of things that one can do. Oh, this is good to know. Kelly Casey sells audiobooks on her website. There you go. Our local bookstore owner that we love so much. Thank you very much for that tip, Kelly. Maybe you can share your website with us. I know that we usually don't feel so kind about people just putting links on the comments, but please let us know. Let us know what your website is, Kelly, so that we can go and explore it. We love audiobooks personally. La 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 la. And yeah, you cannot see Julie Guerrero at No Way Jose, because No Way Jose is no longer called No Way Jose. Julie has detached herself from the operation to focus on other pursuits that are very exciting. I've had the opportunity to chat with her, and I wish her lots of good vibes with her new ventures. Kelly shares the website for her bookstore. Thank you very much, Kelly. I'll be the first to go exploring there. And and that should, oh no, spoiler, I love Modern Family, but I haven't seen that episode, but I'll look for that episode. Too funny. Yes, that's the new name for the restaurant. It's called OK Jose. No Way Jose is gone. OK Jose is the new deal, or the new restaurant. We don't know that it's a new deal or a not so new deal, but it is still there where you have known it, and Jose Alfredo is running it and hopefully doing wonderful things with the restaurant as he should. And this, my friends, brings us to the end of our comments today. I don't see any more cues, so this is probably a good a good place for us to part. I hope you've had a good broadcast today. I've had a good broadcast, although I must have pulled a muscle in my back or something because I'm feeling a little ugh. But the good thing is that we don't have any major errands to run today, and we're going to stay put, gathering information for tomorrow's broadcast as usual, which includes our exploration of Amapas. Amapas is the neighborhood that we're going to discuss tomorrow. Lots of interesting things to say about Amapas because Amapas is small, but really wonderful. Michael says, question early dinner. Paco says, maybe. Let me take a look at my workload and I'll get back in touch with you. In the meantime, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being part of this cluster. Thank you for sharing the stories of how you connect with one another when the broadcast comes up in conversation. That's what we're here for. And that makes me so, so very happy. And let us continue making wonderful, meaningful connections with one another, with the city, with the country, with our destination, with our lives. So have a great day, and hopefully we'll get together tomorrow. Be well.